After all the upgrades Yamaha packed into the 2026 R7, it's time to ask, does it finally have what it takes to challenge the CBR650R? Under the fairing, the R7 sticks with the same engine as before, a parallel twin with a 270-degree crank. That's 2 fewer cylinders than the CBR's inline 4, but the R7 makes up for it with bigger displacement. It's packing 689cc, which is about 40cc more than the CBR. Compression ratio is basically the same, and both engines use a DOHC for the valve train. They also come with a 6-speed box with assist and slipper clutch. Honda offers the E-clutch version, meaning you don't need to use the clutch lever for taking off, stopping, or shifting up and down. The lever's still there if you want to take over manually, but you can ride the bike without ever touching it. Meanwhile, the R7 doesn't get a system like that. Even though Yamaha already has the tech, it's called YMT, and it's available on the MT-07 but not the R7. The difference with the Honda is that with YMT, there's no clutch lever and no foot shifter at all. Everything is handled electronically, so you're either in full auto with 2 modes, one with more aggressive throttle response, the other more tamed, or switch to manual mode and handle the shifting yourself, using a trigger by your left finger for upshifts and a button under your thumb for downshifts. When it comes to outright horsepower, the CBR is still the clear winner. It makes about 95 horsepower at the crank. That's 22 more than the R7. But when we talk torque, the R7 fights back. Its parallel twin counters with an extra 5 Newton meters, and more importantly, it reached its peak power much earlier in the revs. The R7 is also noticeably lighter. It comes in at 189 kilograms, while the CBR sits at 209 kilograms. And if you go for the E-clutch version, that adds another 2 kilograms. So for power to weight, the CBR's horsepower advantage is enough to offset its heavier build. On paper, it ends up with roughly a 15% stronger power to weight figure. In real-world riding, that means the R7 jumps ahead off the line, thanks to its stronger low to mid-range grunt and lighter build. But once the revs climb, the CBR catches up, and at the top end, it simply pulls away. When it comes to electronics, this one's an easy win for the R7. It's not even close. For 2026, Yamaha basically loaded the R7 with rider aids you'd normally expect on bigger, more expensive bikes like the R9 or even the R1. With the new IMU and ride-by-wire system, the R7 now gets cornering ABS, riding modes, lean-sensitive traction control, wheelie control, engine brake control, launch control, slide control, and a bidirectional quick-shifter all as standard. Meanwhile, the CBR can't really keep up. The only thing it offers that the R7 doesn't is the optional E-clutch we talked about earlier. Even an upshift quick-shifter isn't standard on the CBR. Both bikes do get a TFT display with smartphone connectivity, but overall, the R7 absolutely dominates here. Nothing too fancy with the frames. Both use a simple steel diamond type frame. Pretty standard stuff for this class. But when we move to suspension, the R7 takes another clear win. Up front, the R7 gets an upside-down fork with full adjustability. The CBR? Yeah, it doesn't offer any adjustment at all on the front. Same story at the back. The R7's rear shock gives you preload and rebound adjustment, while the CBR shock can only be adjusted for preload. For braking, both bikes run dual 4-piston calipers, Nissan's on the CBR and Advic's on the Yamaha. Tire sizes are identical, and the R7 has a slightly taller seat height. But the big difference is the wheelbase. The R7 is significantly shorter, and when you combine that with its lighter weight, it's going to feel a lot more flickable and nimble on the road. The R7 does carry a bit less fuel than the CBR though, and price-wise, they're pretty close. The CBR comes in around $500 more than the R7, so not a huge gap, but still something to consider. So based on all that, the R7 really seems to have the upper hand. It's got way more torque, so the low-end pull is much stronger. It's noticeably lighter, which makes it feel more agile and easier to flick around. And it also comes with electronics that are basically super bike level, way ahead of the CBR, plus better suspension adjustability. And to top it off, it's $500 cheaper. So, why would you still pick the CBR? Well, that inline 4 gives you a much stronger top end. And even though its low-end torque isn't as beefy as the R7, it's still punchy enough. Also, if you specifically want an inline 4, you don't have many options in this class. If you want something that still gives you a bit of that Fireblade or 600RR vibe, without the hassle, without the back pain, without spending crazy money, and you know you're never really going to use more than 100 horsepower anyway, the 650R just makes sense. It gives you that smooth, easy-to-live with inline 4 character that's way better suited for everyday riding and weekday commutes.